somehow Russell Westbrook is still a free agent. Extremely disrespectful to a prior MVP, and I'm not gonna stand for it. So today we're putting Westbrook back in his prime, once again taking on his MVP caliber form from the Oklahoma City Thunder with the goal of winning an NBA championship. And this wheel of NBA teams will help us determine his fate. Without further ado, let's go ahead and spin the wheel, see what team Russell Westbrook will be a member of in year one of the sim, the San Antonio Spurs. And honestly, a pretty good team for us, I think. Victor Wembanyama, that's going to be a great pairing in the pick and roll. We'll probably have to trade De'Aaron Fox. We may give it a try. And then a lot of great young pieces to surround Russ. Harrison Barnes is not young or great, but he's on the team. And one other thing I wanted to note was his contract is $0. The dude is out here playing for the love of the game. I don't know how that happened. 2K26, like, it glitched when I put him on the team. Nonetheless, great roster, and I decided to let the CPU choose the minutes for this first little part of the simulation. They got Russ starting, De'Aaron Fox is coming off the bench. We're gonna see how that works. We're not gonna play them together. We're gonna simulate to the trade deadline, see where the team is sitting, and then possibly make some trades. And while I may have expected the duo of Russ and Wemby to do well, I never expected them to play as great together as they were. An MVP level Westbrook was finding his French teammate for easy opportunities, and when nothing else was available, he darted to the paint with no concerns of the defense, finishing over the defenders to put his team in great shape by the deadline. Yeah, I honestly did not see this coming. At the deadline, they're doing really good. 39-11, the first seed, barely ahead of the Dallas Mavericks, who are just absurdly ridiculous in these 2K26 sims. Not really sure how the Sacramento Kings are doing this good, but everything else looks pretty standard here in the West. And the Spurs at the top of the Nuggets at 14? That's crazy. Don't know how they're that low. But back to the Spurs, not even just the conference. They're at the second place in the entire NBA, only behind the New York Knicks. So I'm really happy with how this is working out. I honestly think I'd be mistaken to trading in these guys. De'Aaron Fox is playing exceptional coming off the bench. 18.1 a night, 4 assists. He'll probably end up getting the 6th man of the year coming off the bench, putting up numbers like this. And Russ is playing very well. MVP Russ, he's not putting up a triple-double, which I'm surprised, but he's close. He is very, very close. I don't think he's going to win an MVP here. You're not going to get one over guys like Luka or Jokic or SGA, but 22, 9, and 10.5 is pretty solid. Victor Wembanyama leading the team. But even with as good as they are, I was still looking through the trades just to see if we can maybe get better. Nothing really stood out to me. The Tyler Hero trade for De'Aaron Fox was enticing. I'll save a little bit of money on cap space, get a great shooter to pair alongside Russ, but I don't think I'm going to take that. And overall, most of these, nothing is really standing out. I think we're just going to go ahead and keep De'Aaron Fox, play out the rest of the season, see how that ends up going. Maybe trade him next year if we don't win a championship, which I think we could possibly do, because here in mid-March, we're fighting back and forth with the Mavericks for that 1 seed. We might go into the playoffs with the top record in the Western Conference if we stop losing games here at the end of March. Wins against the Grizzlies, the Heat, the Bucks, the Bulls. We got a pretty easy schedule to close this out. The terrible Denver Nuggets, and it's looking like they're running away with this one. A big match against the Mavs. They defeat us. That could be foreshadowing, but Victor Wembanyama, we got the MVP in our team. We have MVP caliber Russ playing with the MVP Victor Wembanyama, who of course also got the Defensive Player of the Year. I'm not surprised there one bit. But as I predicted, De'Aaron Fox, the 6th man of the year. We are running away with the awards here in San Antonio. Of course, as we all know, Cooper Flag, insane in these 2K26 sims. He does get Rookie of the Year. Then Nemias Kuatia, it's most improved. I don't even know if this is a real dude. Clutch Player of the Year goes to Devin Booker. And there's our boy in the All-NBA first team. The Russell Westbrook disrespect has to stop. This is a former MVP. Even when he was at an MVP level, people were disrespecting him. But now that he's regressed a little bit, it is getting insane out here that he's not signed. First team All-NBA. And the official NBA standings did land the Spurs the top seed in the entire NBA, not just the West, the whole NBA. 65 wins. What a year by adding Russell Westbrook to this roster. And I keep talking about Russ like they don't have the MVP on the team. It may have more so been Victor Wembanyama, but both of them played really good together, both averaging around 22, 23 points per night, 10 assists a game for Russ, 8.5 rebounds. Victor has 3 blocks a night. I don't think this dude is human. But for now, the first round matchup of the NBA playoffs, the first year 25-26, is the Houston Rockets. Of course, they're led by Kevin Durant, their newest acquisition, who it looks like isn't in the starting lineup. We're catching a bit of a break in round one. Kevin Durant, unfortunately, a torn left MCL. He is going to miss this first round in the playoffs, meaning this should honestly be a very easy playoff series to win. And I may have spoke too soon. I didn't even bother recording it because I thought we were going to sweep. We're down 2-0. We're down 2-0 with no Kevin Durant. We got blown out in game 2, 131-113. Russ only had 17, 8 and 8, shot terribly. And then in game 1 where we lost, Russ played pretty well, 27, 6 and 10. I expect a little more. We still lost by 5 though. Houston Rockets. I mean, we got Easton getting 21 points out here somehow. So I guess we'll go ahead and simulate the next game. Hopefully we win this one. If we go down 3-0, I don't know what we're gonna do. We finally win a playoff game. Simulate the next one. It's all tied up. Okay, that might have been a hoax. That might have been a slight scare. Game 5, huge game. Take the lead in the series. We go up 3-2. Let's go ahead and close this series out. Simulate the round. We're advancing to round 2. We win it in 6. Round 2 though against the Clippers. This is a much scarier looking team. Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Zubats, John Collins. He's not a problem at all. Brook Lopez. A lot of great pieces on this team. So this one, I'm a little less confident that we can win, especially after losing 2 to the Rockets. Similar to the first one. We take the first one though. We're in great shape. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Mavericks are battling it out on the other end. LA goes up 2-1, and we need to win this game. This is a must-win situation. My phone alarm just went off, which is very fitting because I'm alarmed that we're down 3-1 in round 2 to Clippers. And I went to go look at the stats of what's going on here. And in game 4, Russ is 8, 5 and 6. Russ, I've tried to put you back in your prime to tell people they're mistaken for disrespecting you. This is not a good look. This is not a good look from Russell Westbrook. We're gonna go into this game 5 simcast. We're gonna simulate this one because if we lose here, our season is over. So if it's close, I want to at least give these boys a chance to prove what they have, what it takes at the end. And it looks like they're blowing them out. The Clippers are kind of sticking around. The Clippers are really sticking around. Oh man, we're gonna jump into the game. LA with the basketball, down by 1, a minute left in this game. They were just down by like 10. Bradley Beal. How do you let Bradley Beal score on you? The Clippers just took the lead. Down 1 now, San Antonio. Russell Westbrook doesn't even have the basketball. De'Aaron Fox and Russ playing together. Fox finds Sokan in the corner. They get it to Russ, the MVP, to start a show. This year's actual MVP, Victor. Oh my goodness, Russell Westbrook. An illegal score. Are you kidding me? I mean, look at this. It's James Harden, a known flopper. Look at that, a former teammate. You gotta be kidding me. Well, San Antonio desperately needs a stop now, trailing by 1. 46 seconds left in this basketball game. Bradley Beal with the basketball. How is Beal killing us? There's no way Bradley Beal is doing this. Where was this type of play in Phoenix when the Suns needed him the most? Westbrook with it now, 36 seconds. Blows by Harden, the pull-up. You had a dunk. What is going on in this basketball game? Bradley Beal with the ball again, looking like Michael Jordan. Beal with it. They're going to call it. Can he shoot? Zubats the board over Wemby. Oh, this is over. We're about to lose in round 2. Kawhi Leonard, the Gatorade Cup. Kawhi sizing him up. 4 seconds left to pump. If they score here, it's done. Beal, don't do it. Wemby the board, timeout. One final opportunity for San Antonio to survive. Keep the season alive. Vassell, Sokan for the tie. Sokan for the tie! The Clippers, no timeouts. Bradley Beal, the length of the court. We're going to overtime. So we're going to hop back into the simcast. What an exhilarating finish. Hopefully they hang on to overtime and that was not a complete waste of my time. And it's looking like that was a complete waste of my time. So I'm actually a complete idiot. For some reason, I thought the Clippers won. The Spurs blew them out. And for you guys, it was like a direct cut to this moment. For me, I sat here for 5 minutes trying to figure out what just happened. 3-2 series. We'll simulate the next one. See if game 6, can they hang on? They force a game 7. And who else other than Russ to have a massive game 6 for the blowout win? 44 points. 16 for 20 shooting. What a game from our star. So now, of course, the question becomes, can they hang on in game 7? The Clippers off to an early lead. San Antonio won 65 games this season. You cannot go out like this to the Clippers of all people. It's a blowout. I think this one might be over. I don't think they have enough gas left in the tank. The Clippers defeat us. Westbrook had an okay game. 22 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Not enough to get it done in a game 7, though. at all. And surprisingly, in the finals, the Cavaliers actually sweep the Mavericks. It's normally like a blowout for the Mavs. They're so good in these sims, it makes no sense. As I finished the season, this is my first sim on 26, so I didn't know this was here, but they have me editing the price of concessions. Why is the default $26? That is absolutely ludicrous that it costs $26 to grab like a hot dog and a drink. But far more importantly, King James has retired from the game of basketball. I don't think that'll happen. No way that LeBron James does not have a farewell tour. I don't think he's exiting the NBA without having his tour, if I'm being honest. Chris Paul retires ringless. He was part of that Clippers team. Kyle Lowry, I didn't even know was still in the NBA. Al Horford was on the Cavs. That was the difference maker. This was the X factor for their championship. Oh, and I don't know why he was all the way down here. Steph Curry retired. Why did they put him so low on this list? This is a legend. One of the greatest players of all time. Why? I guess he's done. He's had enough. And we do have the 22nd pick in the NBA draft this year. I don't know that any of these rookies are going to develop in time for Russ and Wemby's timeline of winning together. But I'm going to get this guy just because his name is Kobe. That Bance ends up going to the Phoenix Suns. That's the big name in this draft. The Wizards do get Cameron Boozer. That's a solid pickup right there. And apparently we had like 100 second round draft picks that I simulated. I'm not going to sign any of these guys because I need that cap space. And I feel like we did a pretty good job in the free agency of using that money. Russ, by the way, went to 99 overall. Not sure if that's ever happened, but by not signing those second round picks, we were able to get guys like Kevin Huerter, a good 3-point shooter to add to the list. Re-signed Harrison Barnes, re-signed Socan, who are also free agents, and it just rounded out the bench a little bit. Got guys like Steven Adams, Spencer Dinwiddie. I didn't realize their overalls were going to drop so low, so I expected more, but that's all right. But one thing we are going to do is shop De'Aaron Fox in the trade market. We have a ton of guards, not a lot of length, so I wanted to see if there was any way we could get some improvements there for some of our forwards. I did like the possibility of Dyson Daniels, but then I saw this deal from the Knicks for OG, so we're definitely going to negotiate with New York. And after looking at the roster, there's really nothing else I wanted, so I think we're just going to straight up take this. We also get Max Strus at the deal, which I think is an improvement over Harrison Barnes. We're going to take this deal. And while I really like that move, I would still like to shop one of either Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, or Vassell. And I think Vassell makes the most sense at looking at possibly moving. And I actually ended up finding the perfect deal. Obi Toppin, I didn't want to get a better forward to throw into the rotation, so he'll be good to include in there. And then getting Neesmith, I feel like that's a good 1-for-1 swap in Vassell in itself. So I actually really like this deal. But I would also really love to get TJ McConnell, because if I'm going to be losing Spencer Dinwiddie, I don't have a backup PG for Russ. So getting TJ would be huge. So I added the rookie we signed, Kobe. And hopefully that is enticing enough for them to take the deal. Please take this. I really need it. They're thinking about it. They're not interested, but if I do a pick swap, they'll take it. So we're definitely doing this deal. So this is our new look lineup. The starting lineup is Russell Westbrook, Castle, OG, Socan, and Wemby. And then we have some good solid bench depth, I think, with Dylan Harper, Neesmith, Keldon Johnson, who I forgot was even on the team, Obi Toppin, and some other guys. I'm really excited to see what the Spurs can do this season with Russell Westbrook and all these new pieces. A solid start, 16-4 to kick the year off. Currently sitting at the first seed in the West. And the Spurs did end up winning the NBA Cup with the MVP of this cup going to Victor Wembanyama, who was averaging 32, 13, and 5. And if that says anything about this season, I think we have a good chance to win it all. And I was not expecting this. Wembanyama may have got the NBA Cup MVP, but the league MVP goes to Russell Westbrook. I knew that this disrespect was unwarranted. 31, 11, and 11 a night for Russ. We're about to see how much Wemby had as well. That duo together is insane. But that would actually be the only award that the Spurs win after getting multiple last year. Cam Booz gets the Rookie of the Year. Sixth man goes to Jaden Ivey on the Lakers. And then Wemby actually doesn't get Defensive Player, which I think is blasphemous. Most Improved, though, I actually didn't realize we got that as well. Dylan Harper, Most Improved, goes to the San Antonio Spurs. Clutch Player of the Year is Devin Booker again. Of course, Russ is on the All-NBA first team. He's the MVP. But what is shocking is that Wemby did not make any All-NBA team. So I'm wondering if he was hurt. He didn't even make an All-Defensive team. I think he may have missed some time. So it looks like Wemby did miss some time. He only played 45 games this season, but he averaged some great numbers. 28 points per game, 13.5 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals. He should have been Defensive Player of the Year. He just did not play long enough. But this has got to be probably one of the most impressive duos in NBA history, right? It doesn't show Wemby in the league leaders because he missed games, which I think is kind of silly, but he would be top 10 in points per game. So him and Russ are both top 10 in the league in points per game, almost averaging 60 together combined. Let me know in the comments, has there ever been a duo that's been more impressive? Kobe and Shaq maybe? But it still wasn't enough to outdo the Dallas Mavericks, who, like I mentioned, is just insane in these 2K sims. They got the first seed. The Spurs, though, 64 wins, one less than last year. And with Wemby missing half the season, that's still really good. But of course, it all boils down to playoff basketball, and we may have a chance to play the Mavericks in the conference finals. Round 1 against the Pelicans, that should be incredibly easy. We'll just simulate the round. They end up winning in 6, a little closer than I expected. The Lakers are in round 2 without LeBron James now. I'm surprised they actually got the 3rd seed. They added Jaden Ivey, and that was about it. I guess they got Hartenstein. But other than that, not any big changes for LA. But somehow they're still fighting back. It's a 3-2 series here. But I think more importantly is the Mavericks versus the Thunder. The Thunder up 3-1. And not to say that the Thunder aren't good on their own, but this Dallas team is far more intimidating. So a possibility to avoid Dallas, this could really be the year. They have to beat LA first, though. Let's simulate game 6, and they do advance, and they play the Oklahoma City Thunder, which of course is going to have some storylines. Russ's old team, his original team that he was with, couldn't get it done with them. Now he's playing them in the conference finals, and they have a solid roster. SGA, Jalen Williams, and Chet, of course, are all 90 overalls. But other than that, they've lost a lot of their depth since their championship in 2025. They still have some solid pieces, but I think San Antonio could probably win this. Let's go ahead and simulate the first game. We do take game 1. Game 2 we take as well. When you have the last 2 MVPs on your roster, things like this happen. It might be a sweep. They might be sweeping their way into the NBA Finals. OKC fighting back in game 4. And San Antonio gets it done. And the conference finals was all Wembanyama. It looks like he wanted some revenge on Holmgren for stealing his defensive player of the year, because 32 points per game is crazy. Russ also doing very well. One thing to note is Wemby is apparently hurt again. I don't know what's going on with this dude. He keeps getting injured, but nonetheless, they're going to the finals where they will be facing the New York Knicks, which, if you remember, we just shipped De'Aaron Fox over there earlier this season. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. Will he defeat the team that betrayed him? Will the trade pay off after adding OG for us? They have a very small lineup with Brunson, Fox, Bridges, and Josh Hart. And then I'm not worried about Karl-Anthony Towns against Victor Wembanyama. I think the Spurs got this one in the bag. Game 1 of the NBA Finals underway, a flashback, a rematch of 1999 with the Spurs versus the Knicks. Tim Duncan against Patrick Ewing. And right now, San Antonio is blowing them out the water. Game 1 is going home to the Spurs. Wemby is playing injured, but it's still enough for him to put up 23, 9, and 3 against Karl-Anthony Towns. Westbrook leading the way with a triple-double. And game 2 is looking a little bit closer, but San Antonio is starting to run away with it in the 4th. It was close up until literally when I said that. That's a blowout win right there for San Antonio. And I did just quick sim game 3, and the Knicks ended up winning that one. So they maybe have a chance. We might have a series on our hand. They tie it all up, which means this game 5 is so far the biggest game of this entire simulation. Whoever wins this has a good chance of winning these finals. So hopefully the Spurs can hang on here. They're going to go into game 6 in New York if they win this one. And this is an absolute blowout. Westbrook and Wemby combined for 68 together. Both had phenomenal games. And now with a 3-2 advantage in the NBA Finals, we are about to find out, can these Spurs get it done in game 6 and get Russ a ring? Well, it looks like it's going to boil down to this. A 1-point game with 2.5 minutes left in New York. If the Spurs can claw back, trailing 1, they win an NBA championship. They force a miss there with the rebound. They have an opportunity to take the lead late in this game. They've been trailing for a while. It's been a close one throughout. OG, not a great shot attempt. The Knicks now on a fast break. De'Aaron Fox in the corner. Fox misses it. De'Aaron Fox had a chance to do his old team dirty. OG, they find Wemby to paint. Wemby to pump. Forces it up against Cat. He scores up and over Anthony Towns to give the Spurs the lead. The Knicks now with 1 minute and 50 seconds left in this game. De'Aaron Fox with the ball. If we get a stop on our old teammates, we have a great chance. A tough shot. Fox. It's off. Wemby to rebound. The Spurs now on the fast break. SoCan with the ball. They get it to the MVP. Russell Westbrook, the disrespected player in the sim. Russ coming around the screen for 3. It's off. Wemby fighting for it. It's a loose ball. Bridges has it off to the races. Brunson in the corner for the lead. Brunson, bang! He gets it to go. Russell Westbrook now with San Antonio trailing by 2. Russ, his 3 to take the lead back. Russ gets it in. A clutch basket for Westbrook. A minute left in the game. De'Aaron Fox with it now. Down by 1 for the Knicks. A thriller late in New York. Fox, his pull-up. Jay, they're going back and forth. Westbrook now has the ball for San Antonio. 55 seconds. I want to see a pick and roll. Wemby, no. It's the quick move. Russ, all the way to the basket. The lead Trey's hands again. Westbrook is hype over there. De'Aaron Fox with the ball. 45 seconds left in the game. Castle trying to get a stop. His crossover, the pump, nowhere to go. A tough lay. Wemby soars in for the rebound. San Antonio now has an opportunity for a dagger. A huge shot here. Russ, the drive. Russ, he finds a newbie. Castle, bang! Gets it to go for 3. A stop from the Spurs here could mean an NBA championship for this city. The first one in over a decade. Jalen Brunson with the ball. Russ is on him. Brunson to spin. Westbrook, great D. Brunson gets it to go, though. They're going to have to play the foul game. Even in his prime, Russ wasn't exactly a great free throw shooter, so the second free throw is huge. This is the difference between a 3 or a 4-point lead, a 1 and 2 possession game. He gets it to go, cold-blooded from the MVP. 4-point game, 16 seconds left. New York is out of timeouts. They have to go fast here. They go to Cat. Cat the pump. The pull-up over Wemby. That's off. No way. OG, that might do it. And just like that, the Spurs have taken the throne back as NBA champions. But more importantly for Russ, he was silencing the doubters, reminding the world that he's one of the all-time greats.